Gamer. Oh, here we are. Welcome to the Rick Meeks Show. We're on. I'm sorry.
What?
Hey, hang on a second. Hang on. Welcome to the Rick Meeks Show, folks. And yeah, a little surprise, surprise, but yes, here we are.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well, it's the
Sorry
Rick.
about that.
It's the Rick Meek Show
It's been that kind of
live.
a day, man.
Yes, it is from the pizzeria, sponsored by Sabine State Bank.
Oh
For your
my
banking
goodness.
needs, go down and see Steve Waters. Just go down and have a cup of coffee with him, and you might walk out with a loan. And here comes Chris Watlington,
Oh,
and he looks
Christy,
happy.
he looks happy, happy. Well, good. If Chris Washington is happy, that means the world is
Everybody's
right.
happy.
That means
That's
the
right.
world is right. If Chris Washington is happy, there you
Well, all right. Well, let's just get the our
Yes.
clips, and
Yes, I'll get that.
we'll get that. This was a we had a lot of stuff going on this weekend, and get that stuff in. But we'll get back. We'll maybe do some clips from the last three games next
Okay.
time, just to get us caught up.
I can do that.
But I think I was thinking about what we're going to talk about tonight, and one of the interesting things, it was very difficult for us to pick a player of the game, Bullard, because it's like the entire team. I mean, we just it was. I almost want to give I think we ended up giving it to Blueford, but it was difficult because I mean, it just seems like I know you wanted to see some improved energy in the second half, but I mean, I think at least from technical standpoint, I mean, everybody was kind of pulling their weight the other night.
Yeah, I think that would have been a tough task. I'm glad I
Yeah.
wasn't in your seat.
Well, that's why I get paid the big bucks.
That's right.
But let's start on the offensive side. We had a great play. We talked about this at the pancake breakfast. I mean, there was a couple times where ran that inside G or whatever you guys call it, where center blocks down and then the guard or
Guard
tackle
tackle.
comes down, and just there was just one time when we just I mean, it was a pancake breakfast kind of block. Of course, Blueford gets in behind that and just and goes. But that happened three or four times. But I remember this one time where we really just couldn't see exactly what happened because Big 79 I mean, wiped out the
Yes, sir.
entire left
The
side of
whole
the
side.
Bullard. Yeah,
Ja'Cory.
yeah,
That's my boy.
yeah.
There you go.
So let's talk offensively. What stood out as what we did well.
I thought we ran the ball really well,
Hmm.
and that's something now through the last few weeks that has really been beneficial for us because now, I mean, those are things that you've got to be able to do through the course of a game to put things away. Like we talk as a staff. We get into the second half. Once we're up a certain
Hmm.
amount, like we've got to be able to limit possessions. Well, the
Yep.
only way to do that is to be able to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage. Um,
So I
and
and I think okay, that's mine. And I think yes. Hold on a second. And I think that's big red for Larry.
Okay. Big Red. Okay.
um, and
And
so
a
anyway,
sweet
we
tea
gotta we
coming.
gotta be
Okay.
able to control the line of scrimmage,
Okay.
and we've been able to do that here lately, and just we've got to be able to run the clock off. I mean, and so being able to run the football has been huge for us in the
Yep.
second half. And it's big for us moving forward. It's we've talked on here the last few weeks about limiting possessions for
Yep.
our opponents,
Mm.
but once you're on the field 14, 15, 16 possessions, score 30% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
they're still looking at 35 points.
Right.
The other night, I think we only defended 8 possessions, and so being able to shorten the game and control the line of scrimmage has been big for us. So that was a big positive for us Friday night.
Time. I mean, and we had the colonel in the booth with us all night, which is interesting. We learned a lot of interesting things about his some of his philosophies. But I think he noticed that. I mean, they went a long stretch where they didn't have any possessions on the plus side of the field.
Correct.
As a matter of
Correct.
fact, I think they made it past the 35 or 40
Right.
for a large stretch of the game.
Right. And we did a good job of limiting that in the first half. We scored on our first 3 possessions, and then the fourth possession we ran the
Hmm.
clock out and went into halftime.
Yeah.
So they only had 3 possessions in the first half, and that's just
Yeah.
that's big. That's
I,
that's big for us all the way around.
I want to talk about that. You mentioned that, and it was something because Gregory and I had a debate about this, and I said, look, I don't disagree with Coach Meeks very often, but I would have, I wanted, my first initial thought was, I mean, we had plenty of time. I wanted you to see go get one more or try to get a field goal for half. And coach was like, no, 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 we got the big lead. We don't do that. Could get injury. You could have a turnover six or something like
Right.
that. What was can you take us through your mindset? Because it was like a minute and a half to go, and I think we tried a deep one. We tried. I think didn't you throw? We tried a deep one, and then when that didn't work, we just sat. Then we sat on it, right?
So so there's a part in so there's two things with this. One, um, just being completely honest with you, I was in a point to where I was ready to. Part of me was ready to get into halftime to get some things addressed.
Right.
Um, but the other part of that is there is a piece of the game that is huge, and we call it the middle eight,
Oh,
and
sure.
that is the 4 minutes going into half and the 4 minutes coming out after half.
Yes.
In those 8 minutes, we want to win every week. All right, and so we kind of controlled that. We knew we were going to kick off to them after halftime. We took a shot on first down when we got the
Yes.
ball. It was incomplete. And so then I think we took a shot on second down. It was incomplete. So told Coach Horton, I said we need to run the ball here. If we get the first down, great. If not, they either have
Hmm.
to burn the timeout or at least the clock's running. We get the first down,
Right.
and then we run one more play and let the clock run out. So a few things on that going in. We were backed up. We possessed the ball, I think, on the -20 after they punted to us. Um, and so that territory of the field, if you turn it over down there, they're already
Yep.
in scoring position.
Right.
If you have to punt, um, I mean, just think back last week to Carthage, we dropped a snap, and so it's not like that part of our game has been great. Now, I thought it was really good Friday night, and we've
Yes.
done some different things to get to that point. So it was good. I have a little more confidence after the things we did Friday night. Um, and so we were just in a territory there that if we gave the ball back to them, um, they were going to have really good field position.
Right.
There were also a couple things that they had done in the first half that we did not align well to. So if we give the ball back to them, we didn't defend empty very well in the first half. For whatever reason, we were not getting our checks in. We were getting the calls in, they'd go empty, and we were not getting our checks relayed with the 11 on the field having to make the check. And so they come back to that the second half. No idea. So there were just some things that had went on in the first half that I just felt like it was better
Hmm.
for us to sit on it. Let's make sure we go in 21
Hmm.
to 7. They're going to get the ball after half, so the importance and then we did that. I mean, we scored
Absolutely.
21 in the third quarter and played very well. So, um, so that was kind of the reasoning
Yeah.
behind that.
Well,
Sure, we had a minute and a half. We could have worked a 2 minute, maybe even got down into field goal range and got some other points. But I think the reward of that
right. The risk versus reward.
probably was not. It didn't compare because at the end of the day, we were the better team. I felt like we were the better team coming in, and we needed to get some things fixed so we could
Right.
go play the second half.
Right. That makes complete sense. And, you did. I found it interesting. Your comments to Holly at half was that you felt that our intensity level wasn't where you wanted to be. Did I mean? Is that something that did you have a Scarly discussion with the fellas at halftime about that?
We got it addressed. Yes, sir. We got it addressed.
Yeah. Sometimes just a couple of solid words, is all it takes. Huh?
We got it addressed. Yes, sir.
There you go. I went back, and I got to watch the game too, and folks, and tell you what, Coach, I want to go away from the game real quick, but I love to see the crowd out there because the crowd was behind you guys, man. You seen the center crowd out there; they've been traveling, they've been going with you guys too, and the crowd's really been getting behind you guys. And that, how do you think that the guys, whenever you say that, get into that second half and really started rolling, and that crowd gets a little bit more behind them, do you think that motivates them a little bit more, helps them out to keep on that with what you're telling them?
Yeah, no, it does. And that's, I mean, there's a couple things with that. One, yes, the crowd. Two, we weren't doing a very good job on the sideline either, and that's a big part of what we're about. We have 11 guys competing. We got another 22 to 25 on the sideline, and if they leave those 11 out there on an island, then
Hmm.
it defeats the purpose.
Right.
Like we've got to get behind our guys, and they are the ones now competing, and so I've got to get involved into what's going on, and
Hmm.
so that's twofold there.
Right.
There was the sideline was better, the stands were better. And the other side of that, I've said on here many times, we get spoiled about playing at home
Right.
because Jesse does a phenomenal job keeping the energy up in the stadium at home,
Mhm.
and we don't have that on the road. So,
Right.
we've got to find a way to be able to have energy from the start when we're on the road, and
Maybe get a little a mobile PA system and play it
we
down there on the
need to.
sideline or
But
something like that, man.
the
Get it
DJ's
going.
got to travel.
There
Well,
you go.
you talked about we got the mobile weightlifting stuff. So I mean, how much harder would it be to get a little DJ?
I don't think it'd be hard at all, but I
Right.
mean, Jesse might disagree. But I think it's pretty easy to throw some speakers in a car and
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
go.
just sit on the sideline and just be ramping down there all night long. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, what, yeah, I enjoy watching I know I don't get to watch them live, but I enjoy go back and watching them play, and I like to watch the Center Rough Riders play. You guys have a very methodical offense. You run it very well. The guys know what they're supposed to
Mhm.
do offensively and defensively. All facets of the game seem to be working really pretty good. High school kids are going to make mistakes. That's just the
Right.
way it is. But I tell you what, the Center Rough Riders are a very good looking football team, coach, and they're rolling right
Well, I
now.
appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
They are.
Thank you.
And the offensive line, just
Yeah.
because we don't ever talk about them. The offensive line,
All the front.
we just talked about it. And we replaced a bunch of guys,
Hmm.
uh, and they really gelled pretty quickly. But you continue to see every week they get better
Get better.
and better.
Yes, sir.
And our running back he gets better and better at making some of the cuts. I mean,
Right.
he had a great play. There was one, and I missed it. I missed it on the replay, but there was one. Do you remember? So it was it was kind of he ended up going off tackle and he juked the guy and just I mean he started outside then cut back inside and then swooped back out. It
Mhm.
was a nice little. It was about a 25-30 yard run, and again it's great when if you're a running back and you can get the second or third level, you're not touched until then.
Right.
Yes.
But he had a safety come up and he just made him miss and went on by him. It was a cool move.
There you go. And I see that there for the Rough Riders. They're rock and roll. All right, where are we at here? You got the script. I know the script came in late.
No, I brought it with me.
Oh,
We
you
had it
brought
the
it.
entire time. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about our pizza of the night real fast. You know what?
Oh, a pizza.
What was it that who said it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, that's what we got
That's
with
right
the
there.
the Rick Meeks extra crispy pepperoni pizza. You just can't go wrong with
I
that.
had lasagna.
And Larry had lasagna, which
Lasagna is good.
lasagna is excellent
It's
here,
very, very good. Yeah.
along with the salads and
And while
everything else.
while I was here before the Piney Woods show, I heard somebody come in and order the October special, the large one topping and wings for $19.99.
There you go.
Can't beat it.
No, you cannot. I'll tell you, let's take a quick break. We'll hear from a couple sponsors. When we come back, we'll start talking about some other things here live on the Rick Meeks Show. Again, we're here live from the pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
Yep.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3 to see why Blake Furniture is the top furniture company in East Texas. Get the lowest prices and discover our easy in-store financing and low payment plans. Plus, get the fastest delivery in East Texas. Get your credit pre-approved online at blakefurniture.com today.
Their family serves your family. It begins with their facilities, their inviting and warm chapel, and their elegant lobby, and their unique product room where you can shop for the choices your tribute requires. They've been serving your family at Watson & Sons since Scott built it in 1998, but their family has been serving you for over a century. Sandy Cox is a good State Farm agent. Just ask Drake. He knows. State Farm agents in general are pretty cool, but Sandy Cox has the answers to your questions. Like, what's best for me, for my kids, for my business, for my farm? For all of us in Shelby County, those questions can be answered at Sandy Cox State Farm.
Welcome back. Well, Old's got a mouthful of pizza.
Hey man, hand me my tea over there. I didn't plan very well. Thank you, Larry. Well, good to be here with everybody. Good to be here with you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
We this is where we would have special guests. We don't have them today, so we'll talk about them. Congratulations to the center band who, while you were in the locker room at halftime, had their basically dress rehearsal. They looked good to me. I don't think they were very happy with it, based on what I heard them say later. But whatever they did, they fixed it because they went to contest at 5 o'clock Saturday, nailed it straight ones, and they're on to the next round. And that's different. Only the last 4 or 5 years has there been a playoff system. Used to you got major ones and that was that, but now they moved to the next round, to the area round, and the top 4 or 5 move on to the state round or something like that. And I need to get the details, but they're still in it and they're looking good. So congratulations. That happened on over there in Bullard. And before Bullard, our well, we're going to talk about other sports here in a little bit, so we'll save the other sports till that. We get to open the floor to anything we want to talk about. Rough Rider, non-Rough Rider, probably athletics. It's a bad week. It's a bad Monday because it'd be a great time to make fun of the Longhorns for losing, but you can't because Alabama lost. So these two guys, they're
I gotta say, I just got one thing to say.
go ahead.
High tide. High tide. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is a funny ass
That's
commercial.
hilarious.
It's Roll Tide. Yeah.
There's two of those. There's that one, and then there's the one where it says you need to know who your mascot is before you go to the tailgate party, because the guy brings a smoked duck to an Oregon tailgate party.
And in college football, it's who's the number one contender to be? You know, it's always been Alabama, and it looked like Texas was poised for that. So who's up there?
I still think it's hard not to say it's Georgia. They had, obviously lost in Tuscaloosa. But it'd be hard. I which I hadn't seen it today. I know it was released. Did they put Oregon number
Yeah,
one?
Oregon's one.
Where did Georgia bump to 2? So
Okay.
yeah, it's probably about par.
Is there some undefeated team out there that's number 6 because they haven't played in the SEC that's going to
Yes,
have all sorts of arguments?
the Hoosiers
Oh, okay.
and
That's
and
right.
Navy,
Indiana 7-0.
or an Army.
Army and Navy are both undefeated.
Wow.
But Army's appears to be maybe the real deal. I watched a little bit of them, and
The Army can say to the NCAA, look, we have weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Let us in.
Literally, we
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
weapons.
we have weapons.
But I watched a bit of the Indiana.
You think you have a ground attack?
Yeah, well, you see ours, yeah. But I did watch the Indiana-Nebraska game, and that Indiana is salty.
I think that one got out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't think anybody was expecting that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy he wanted James Madison as the head coach, and
Mhm.
obviously doing a great job there. So, when was the last time Indiana was ranked ahead of Alabama?
yeah. Yeah.
In football?
In football.
Yeah.
That was when the settlers were crossing, trying to get to the gold rush.
Mhm. Well, a surprise happened as well on Saturday. Another defeat. The Texas State Armadillos got beat by Old Dominion, I don't think that was expected.
Because Old Dominion's old.
Well, I mean, they're talking about Texas State being, kind of the best of the mid. What are they called? The mid majors,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and maybe
the
even
group of 5.
yeah, maybe the group of 5, maybe even getting into the playoffs, and because they were destroying everybody in that level, and then played Arizona. Was it Arizona? Arizona State. It was very close
Mm-hmm.
on a Thursday night. But yeah, they got. Oh yeah, the Hurricanes are undefeated.
Okay.
I watched. Yeah,
There are enough teams that kind of have a little bit of cachet that are undefeated that are kind of like, look at us. It's
Yeah.
it's not like they're Delaware technical
Right.
college. I mean, they have a
Right.
little bit of a
Right.
claim to at least a resume. It's not sports, but I bring good tidings of great news for a lot of people. In Germany, you can always get this, but in November, English customers will be able to, and by December, American customers will be able to get the McRib. It's back.
Yes, the McRib is coming back.
Aren't you? I mean, that's the good news. It's
That's
just
great news.
just in time for Christmas.
Jeez.
Man, in the old days, I used to go. I'd get me 5 McRibs.
And the old
God, they
days.
were so good.
But now this is a new time. How
Now
many
just
will you get this time?
And is it
one, maybe
actually
2.
rib meat?
No, we don't know what it
No,
is.
Meaty chunklets. That's all you need. That's what was on our mind, and it was brought to you by Ace Hardware, Covington Lumber, because whatever we do for Rough Rider ball, doesn't matter football, if it's a ball, sometimes band concerts, they are there. Ace Hardware and Covington Lumber. And Family Farms, last year they were the overall sponsor of the post-game show, but now they have a kind of an umbrella.
Yeah.
There's the Wiggins Family Farms, the watermelons, there's Center Glass, there's Elite Air Design,
Right.
and there's something we've not even talked about on our show yet, Wiggins Hunting Lodge, where I'm hoping will be a big part of our basketball coverage. So
Yeah.
we thank very much the Wiggins family for all that they do in the
Of course.
community and being supporters of ours here.
Of course, when Center Glass brings us our instant replays when Shires can get them right,
Yeah,
and then Elite brings us our highlights.
because they do highlights.
Yes.
That's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
So see, they're everywhere. The Wiggins. We'll hear from them. We'll hear from some others, and we'll be back with more of the Rick Meeks show here from the pizzeria.
Wiggins Farms. You know, they call them the watermelon family, but the product from their farm when the melon's just a baby, all the way through to the harvest to your table. It's the juiciest, best melons available. Wiggins Farms, hat not included.
Joaquin Tire in Joaquin, Texas. Family owned and operated with new and used tires, general mechanics, and road services. Jesse and his team is proud to serve the community with car, truck, and commercial mag vehicle tires. They're located in Joaquin at the 84 and Highway 7 split. Call the shop today to make an appointment at 936-269-9516. That's 936-269-9516. Joaquin Tire is a proud sponsor of Game of the Week. Stop in and see them today for all of your new and used tire needs.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make 'em shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
All right, everybody. Sabine State Bank brings us this. They are the title sponsor. You know where they are, right next door to Brookshire Brothers on Hurst Street in Center. And of course, there are Sabine State Banks in other places than Shelby County, and it's just one of many. But the one we know about is Steve Waters and his gang, and modern bank with all the modern conveniences. But you got Steve Waters.
It's obviously the best Sabine State Bank.
Yeah, it's the number one Sabine State Bank, as rated by Washington Shires Pierce Productions. And the Rick Meeks Show live from the pizzeria. We have pepperoni pizza, and I have
We've been tearing it up too.
yeah, I have some of that what's it called?
Lasagna?
Lasagna starts with an L. Looking forward to that. I have 2 of those ordered. Okay, so we say also thanks to Rough Rider Oil and Lube, who the scoreboard, that's neat. And it's also a very good service. You got to take care of your car, and they'll do it at Rough Rider Oil and Lube. We have Brownsboro coming
Yes,
this
sir.
week, and that is I guess the danger is it could be anticlimax. And what does Brownsboro do? What are you preparing for?
They're not going to do anything that we haven't seen yet. I mean, they're going to be 2x2, 3x1 spread offensively. Defensively, very similar to what we've seen, last week and weeks prior. This week is going to be, more about how mature we can be and how we can continue to improve and get better. it's a big game for us because it's the next game. And we've got to continue to mature and understand what it means to trust the process, be where your feet are, and play the next play. And that was the one thing last Friday night in the first half I didn't feel like we did a great job of, just the feeling I had. I thought we did a really good job coming out after halftime. Third quarter I thought was really good. I mean, we come out, get a turnover, score, three and out. They kind of mishandle a snap on the punt.
Mhm.
We're right there. We didn't run off. They can't convert. We get the ball. We score. Uh, 21 points. I don't know if they got a first down in the third quarter.
Mm,
Um,
I'm not
and
sure.
and so those are the things that we have to do, no matter who the opponent
Mm.
is. Like it's a faceless opponent. It is always going to be about us. Doesn't matter
Right.
who's on the other side of us. What are we going to do to continue to improve and to continue to get better based off of our standard? And like I told you after the game, like we're more worried about where we're going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks from now, not just in 3 days. And so we've just got to continue to develop that mindset. Um, it's a, it. I really feel like it's a new mindset for our kids, but
Yeah.
it's time
Mhm.
for us to take the next
That's
step.
what I'm
Like
asking. You and your coaching
we've
staff, you're there.
right.
How, if 1 to 100, 100 being totally all on the same page with you, as a program, how far do you think the players are to adopting that?
Well, I don't necessarily think it's how far we are to get there. It's more about they've never been there. So it's not that I'm telling you, our kids are unbelievable. Like this team, the 2024 team, and those guys when we're in that locker room and those four walls, like the way those guys practice and work, it has been better than anything that I've been around in a long time. Um, but the thing is I'm not so sure they've ever pushed themselves to that uncomfortable place where, do I want to continue to go, or am I okay with just what we've already accomplished? And that's okay. That's human nature, right? It's
Sure.
human nature to just survive. It's human nature to just get by, to make sure we get to the next day. And as long as my needs are met, then it's okay.
Mhm.
And that's we expect that as coaches. We understand that those are obstacles we have to get through. Um, so it's not necessarily a 1 to 100 thing of our kids are there, they're not there. They want to get there, but then once they get in that uncomfortable position, are they really going to push through? Are they going to rely on that guy beside me because I know I need my teammate to help me get to that point? Those are the things now that we've got to start putting them in those situations in practice, because it's not just going to happen. We can't just talk about it and then all of a sudden on a Friday night they do it. We've got to find ways throughout the week to put them in uncomfortable situations, to where they've got to get out of their comfort zone, because we're to that point now. We changed the program. We've kind of changed their mindset. We're winning games now, um, but now it's more than that. Like it's time for us to have a program that expects to play late into November and even further.
It makes sense now. It's not a continuum. It's
Hmm.
something that they have to experience, and they may not go.
Right.
So putting them in a situation like that, what if it's practice or a
Hmm.
game? What if they don't? What if they fail to move to the next point? Then what's your teaching strategy? What do you do? I mean, you don't yell at them. You
No,
what?
no, because we want them. Now, if they choose not to go, then maybe that's a different conversation. But the thing we need them to understand is, just because you put yourself out there and because you're uncomfortable and you try to take the next step, it's not just it might not happen for you.
Right.
Like, you look across the state, right, and you got to understand that not everybody gets what they want,
Hmm.
but
Mhm.
it's okay. That's life. Like
Mhm.
it's okay to get uncomfortable and try to achieve something, and then it maybe does not go your way, and that's all right. And so let's say we take a practice situation and our kids are doing what is asked of them and they're trying to push themselves. You have other kids encouraging and really getting into their teammate and getting behind them. And let's say we don't get it. Well, now, okay, well, here's why that didn't happen. You're absolutely right. Like now we have a perfect opportunity to talk them through the situation, which is what coaching is. Um, it's not just keep hammering them because now they've done what you've asked them. And so now they want a little affirmation,
Mhm.
which is great. That's perfectly fine, right? Times have changed. Um, and so, we're able to do that at that point.
Sure.
But we just need them to be okay with being uncomfortable and hey, it's okay. Like I'm gonna push myself and whatever happens, happens, and I'm okay with that because I know my teammates are behind me, my coaches are behind me, my community's behind me, and we're gonna go do this.
That's not just coaching. That's teaching. That's parenting. That's being in a relationship. I mean, that's high level stuff right there.
Yes, sir.
You've got to be willing to experiment and push yourself for the best.
Right.
And it's got to be to some degree all right to fail because if it's high stakes, if it's a zero sum, you won't do it.
Right.
Wow, it's
Right.
great stuff. So great stuff that we had one more thing to do before commercial, but I don't want to. It would dilute the. I mean, you're seeing what the program's about.
Yeah.
So we'll let it rest there, and we'll come right back. When we come back, we'll talk other sports, and we'll look at the district as it looks right now after week 2. I'm glad you're with us here at the pizzeria. It's the Rick Meeks Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
Hope Community Medicine is a nonprofit faith initiative with the primary mission of providing quality health care to the people of East Texas, regardless of race, religion, socioeconomic status, or ability to pay. At Hope Community Medicine, they want to be the leading deep East Texas care provider recognized for their outstanding patient care, innovative technologies, programs, and medicines, as well as a highly motivated and distinguished staff. Hope Community Medicine, founded in faith, focused on family.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
We're back, and thank you very much to the folks at Pizzeria for setting us up. Also, thanks to Campbell Portable Buildings. One of the most important purchases in my childhood was a portable building.
Mhm.
Dad and Mom were so tired of listening to me play the drums.
Right.
They went and got a portable building. He carpeted it. He basically put some, made it weatherproofed it to some degree, and then put those drums out there, and it's still out there.
Yeah.
It's since 1982. Campbell Portable Buildings. I can swear to it, swear by it. They bring us on Friday nights our district and area roundup where we look at other teams. We're going to do that now in our district. The way I have it looked at, there's 1-2-0 team. That's who we played last. That's who we played last week.
Right.
Then there's 1-0-2 team who's going to play this week. Everybody else is 1-1. What do you make of that? I mean, I know you don't want to talk much about who we're afraid of or who we're not because that's uncool. But what do you see going on there from a coaching standpoint?
Well, I think obviously Carthage is 2-0, and in my opinion they played us in Athens first.
Yeah.
I really feel like we're the second and third best team in the district, in which we play each other next week. Um, and like you said, Brownsboro's 0-2 coming to us this week, and so I think there's a line in there that separates 2-3 and then 4-5-6. Um, but obviously we're dealing with teenagers, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
anything could happen any Friday night. But I really believe, um, I really believe there's some separation in there. Bullard beat Rusk week 1. Rusk beat Brownsboro Friday night. Rusk, like I said, let's see what they lost to Bullard, then beat Brownsboro, and then
If it goes like it's supposed to, Rusk won't win again.
potentially, right? Yes,
Potentially,
sir.
but you
Um,
never know. But that's the way it would be scripted based on rankings and all that.
Right, and they play Athens this week, so that's one matchup there that I'm very intrigued by.
Yeah.
Knowing that they lost to Bullard and then they beat Brownsboro. Um, so just kind of seeing how well they play Athens. Athens will be, I believe, on the road for the first time. They go to Rusk. Um, no, they might have went to Brownsboro the first week, but anyway, they are on the road this week. So just kind of seeing how they transition there and how they play, like that's a matchup there that's
Hmm.
very interesting to me. So
It is because we don't have a history with Athens.
correct.
We have gone to Athens to play basketball finals and stuff, but playing the Hornets, we don't.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Not
new.
since the 70s. I
Right.
mean, it used to be
Right.
a.
I have a seat cushion with them as one of our when they have,
Opponents.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
but it's an old seat cushion, and we'll talk about them next week. But
Right.
if whoever wins that game is most likely going
Mhm.
to be the number 2 seed, although that's not guaranteed. That's what is likely, and 2 versus 3 is most likely the person that gets Texarkana Pleasant Grove,
Well,
although we don't know that.
we don't know because that's this week.
That's this week,
Yeah.
them
We-
and Gilmer.
Well, first of all, we were paying close attention to the Gilmer Van game,
It's competitive.
which was very close. I mean, Gilmer ended up kind of getting a little bit of separation, but not a whole lot.
All right.
But yeah, PG and Gilmer play
They
this
play this
weekend.
week.
It's a pick'em game.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a pick'em game because Gilmer, I guess, is going to
Guess it'd be at
Gilmer,
Pleasant Grove. Yeah.
so that makes up the difference. Those are some pretty good teams.
They are. They are. But I think as long as we progress the way I think we can, I mean, honestly, I think we're a pretty good team as well.
Oh yeah.
I think we present a few things that we have not been able to do maybe the last couple of years, and one like we've already talked about. Yes, we had Caden, but we didn't have a sustainable running game,
Right.
and we've done that the last few weeks. We even did that
Absolutely.
last week against Carthage. So the fact that we can kind of run the ball now and control the line of scrimmage,
Mhm.
that is something that we have not been able to do the last 2 years. We've been splotchy, but we have not been consistent.
Correct.
And so, I think we have some things in there that allow us to be in that conversation as well. So
Oh, and it's interesting. It was at least the first time I saw it where we debuted both the backs in the backfield at the same time. I mean,
Yes,
I don't think we'd done that before.
we haven't, and it's something that we've kind of needed to do from a personnel standpoint. Tim is a really good player for us, but even he needs a break every once in a while, right?
We did love it when he was triple covered and TJ still went to him and he still almost caught it.
Still almost caught it. I know. Um, but I mean, that's how much confidence TJ has in him, and I don't blame TJ to have that confidence.
No, neither. It should have been pass interference. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
What I would like to see, though, I know it's not part of it, but I'd like to see something implemented because I was talking to the offensive lineman at breakfast the other week, and I got him to the movie Replacements.
Mhm.
Okay, and because they were talking about how well their celebration dance was, so I think we need to get Jacory or somebody, Refrigerator Perry play, get him in the end zone so the big guys can do a dance
So
in the
he
end
can
zone.
do a dance.
Yeah, there you go. If we can do that, that's awesome.
Yeah, Jacory will dance a little bit after, especially when we run one.
Right,
And
right.
Yeah.
he takes
Yeah.
great pride in that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
That's the unsung position, right? Everybody else gets the recognition, but they don't get the recognition without their work. So
Right.
Yeah, unless they get the bad recognition.
That's right.
that's
Yeah.
right. It's completely unfair to them.
Right, there you go. Do a great job.
Pierce, you were allowed to sit in this chair because you're supposed to talk about other sports.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I was talking, football, man. Yeah, other sports. Yeah, we're talking about volleyball. Coach Spikes in the volleyball. We got to go cover volleyball last week, and I tell you, what, the lady Red Raiders, they're playing really good. They just kind of fell behind there a little bit
Right.
there, Coach. But I think Coach Spice got them ready to go. I don't know if they're going to make the playoff here this year, but they got a good core squad, and I think Coach Spike's the girls enjoy playing for. You can tell. But they look really good, and they may not be the big one this year, but I think next year they'll be poised for something
They're
big.
coming along and they're getting better. And once again, we don't have a senior, only have one junior,
Mm-hmm.
and so the rest of the girls are freshmen and
Yeah, they're
sophomores.
good,
So,
man.
you know,
Oh, you got to see.
a lot of it has to do. I mean, really and truly, if we had the upperclassmen, um, the girls, a lot of those probably wouldn't be on varsity.
Right.
But they are, and they've gotten better throughout the year, and we've got a lot of returners. And so the future is definitely bright. Doesn't necessarily maybe help the present currently, but they are continuing to get better, and they do every Tuesday and Thursday they play with great pride and doing everything they can, which is what I like seeing. They don't get discouraged about past results. They continue to play and continue to try to get better. Get to play in the Coliseum Friday.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I've been looking forward to that too.
There it
Next
is.
Tuesday we get to be there, and that's what's great too. It's supposed to be senior night, but no seniors on the team.
We don't have any seniors. That's right. So,
but we'll still celebrate the gals. That's for
right.
definitely sure. They do an awesome job, and like I said, I enjoyed watching them play. Chris got to come out there and hang out with us. We got to watch them, but we'll definitely be there for the new one coming up. Let's talk cross country. A lot of cross country teams have been going at it here,
Yeah.
not only in the Piney Woods area, but also the Rough Riders too. So all the Piney Woods teams and Rough Rider team, the cross country did very well at the last meets.
Yes, we won district. They ran in regionals today. Actually, we finished 8th. Our top finisher was see, Danny ended up 34th, but we ended up 8th overall as a team in the region, which is phenomenal. So district champs to 8th in the region. Coach Martinez did a great job with that.
And can't say enough about Coach Dykes and
right.
the tennis squad. They once again had another phenomenal season. They'll have a spring season coming up as well. They'll be still just as formidable. But I think too. I mean, we had some good upperclassmen there, but I think there are a lot of younger classmen there in the tennis squad this year,
especially with the fellas.
Yeah, and especially on the guy side. I think those the guys were telling me that. But next year, the way this tennis team always just keeps refueling. I like to say,
right.
They're going to be even tougher next year.
Leon doesn't rebuild; he reloads.
He refuels. Yeah, that's it.
I know. District champs, 3 rounds deep in team tennis. I think we only had four seniors out of the 18 that are a part of the team tennis, varsity team tennis. And so you had Laura Anskull, Holly Herndon, Collard,
yep.
and Logan Galindo. That's it.
Yeah.
So those were our 4 seniors, and so we'll continue on into the spring. Expect great things in the spring, but obviously a lot of returners from that team tennis squad. So
yeah, looking really good.
Speaking of Holly Herndon, are you enjoying having her quiz you?
I love it.
I mean, it's pretty cool, man. I got to see that for the first time this week, and I was watching it, just having to turn it on right about that point. I thought,
that's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all are doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
she did
she's
a great
a
job.
natural.
Yeah, she did a great job. I was like, Holly Road down there. There you go. All right, let's see what this part of. Okay, I want to say quick thanks to the Mooney's Emporium. You were down there not long ago about some shirts. Is that coming to fruition or what?
We're in the initial planning stage to get our new Walton Charles Pierce shirts.
There we go. But
and I picked up. They got these in a little bucket right there by the cash register. They had car air fresheners. It looks like it's a chicken.
A chicken?
It's like it's a cartoon chicken, but they got all these different scents.
Okay.
And I got one. It's called strawberry vanilla or something. I mean, it's terrific.
I thought maybe it'd been like one of the scents from one of these
chicken houses
around here.
That's the smell of money, maybe. That's the smell of money. I don't know that you want your car smelling like that.
Not too much, that's for sure. All right, thanks to Moody's Emporium right there for our segment on all the other wonderful sports and all the kids out there too. And another thing too, a lot of people forget about this, folks, is when we're talking about these other sports is there's also all these teams also have academia. They also have academic stuff that they get graded on. They can get each individual sport has that where I think it's individual. All sports have that, Coach, where they have like an academic. A lot of them have academic state things, but that's a big thing too. And being your schoolwork as well as being an athlete is also another great accomplishment that a lot of people don't realize.
That's right. Yes. No. Academic all state's a big deal. But you pair that with your finishes and the Lone Star Cup to where you have all of your sports and you get you have a ranking at the end of the year, which is something that we put a lot of emphasis on. within our athletic department and within our school district. It's also got some UIL academic stuff with it too. But that's something that we got to continue to improve on.
Definitely. That's good stuff right there. All right, Chris, what else we need to do here? You not playing spots. Is there anyone you want to play for specific here? I just need to know because you tell me what we need to do here. I know it's been one of those nights. We're just kind of winging it, folks. So I got some JBA up in here somewhere. What was it, JBA? Hey, there we go. We'll come back and talk about something to smile about, right?
JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
Serving our communities for over a century, Farmers State Bank continues to meet the financial needs of East and Central Texas. With roots that run deep, Farmers State Bank serves as a source of financial strength to meet the needs of our neighbors. From a comprehensive range of financial products to individual service, we remain dedicated to being a true community bank. Farmers State Bank, improving lives and fulfilling dreams.
All righty, welcome back here to the Rick Meeks Show at the Pizzeria, and something to smile about brought to us by Wyndham Family Dental, and I think Chris has got send it over to Shires first.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just generally happy.
Just generally happy. There ain't no better than that.
The Cowboys didn't lose them this weekend, so we did not lose.
I don't know. I did see that they lost on their bye, 31-24.
Probably right. But
oh, man, I love that. That's awesome.
But my order ranks. If I only get to win once in the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm gonna pick Friday every time.
There you go.
That's it. There you go.
There you go.
That's it. There you go. Something to smile about right there. All right.
What about you?
Well, hey, we're in the Coliseum this week.
Yeah, is that what we're gonna call it? The Coliseum?
It says on the front, Rough Rider Coliseum.
Okay. I didn't know if this was gonna be an activity center or what.
Saw that today when I was leaving out of there. So
I love that.
They got all the lighting finished in the front, and
looks good. I just drove by there.
It looks it caught it really and truly as I was leaving out of there to come up here. I glanced over there, completely caught my attention. So I had to pull into the parking lot to look at that.
Yes.
The lights out front, the curb lighting.
All the difference.
So we're gonna have the spotlights beaming back and forth like this for the first night, opening night.
Well,
I don't know about all that.
I think we have a spotlight. We could do that.
Yeah,
we could just roll it out there.
We could probably do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Put the Rough Rider signal on there, send it out there in the lake. There you go.
So excited about that. Very excited about just that facility for our kids and then our community.
Right. That's awesome. I'm glad they finally get it there. That's true. My something to smile about really is just a lot of the what we've been hearing back from the community about the things that we got going on here. I really think I want to make that the community knows how much we want to be a part of things. We want to do things. If they let us know if we're not doing something right. Please, we take the constructive criticism. We love it. But a lot of good feedback from about the lineman thing that we did, the Happy Tail stuff too. So we're just glad that those things are working out for folks, and we're really happy, and that makes me smile that the community is appreciative of some of the
breakfast with the lineman. Man, that is just such a great idea. I'm so glad.
That's been awesome.
I have a very specific one this week. Well, I guess the day after tomorrow, I have an uncle and a cousin coming from Arkansas. My uncle, when in the 60s and 70s, lived here, was a Rough Rider booster, and he really wants to come see the game. And he hadn't been to a Rough Rider game, probably in the stadium since 1977. But he went to a lot of when it was on Malone Drive, and so he's coming back, 91 years old, and he's going to want the best seat, even if that's 20 rows up. He'll walk up it. And
Right.
My cousin and I, when we were 5, 6, 7, probably more like 7 or 8, he's a little younger than me, we would watch college football games with a cassette player and 2 little microphones, and we would announce them.
Right.
For the 3 or 4 years, we couldn't wait for one of us to come to the other one. We watch a game and we announce that we were going to be sports broadcasters when we grew up. Well, it worked out for me, and I never made it to national television, but I've gotten to do it for 30 years, and he did a little bit in college and fiddle with it, so he'll probably come up and take a quarter with us, and it'll be like
Old shine.
1978 again. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
I don't know. You're on YouTube's pretty close to national TV.
Yeah,
You're right.
There you go.
It's national,
especially all the views and everything that we get nowadays.
Yeah.
We've basically went from what we had last year to this year is almost triple on center broadcasts, and then now even Piney was now that we're doing football. We didn't have anything to base football on last year,
right?
But I mean, it has just been phenomenal.
So NBC, you better watch out. I'm coming for you.
That's right. We ain't for sale yet.
That's brought to you by not the NBC thing. The Dublin Smiler Brow is brought to you by Wyndham Family Dental. My boy Shires was there recently. He got his tooth fixed and he was able to talk on the air the same day. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good stuff.
Wyndham Family Dental. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
We'll
Thank
wrap
y'all,
it
as
up.
always.
We'll wrap it up to tell you what's coming up right after this break from Pizzeria, that's where we are. It's brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
Yep.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
And we're back here, ready to go and wrapping up the final part of it. Chris, what we got going on?
Where are you going to be Tuesday with volleyball and Friday with Piney Woods?
Let's see. Piney Woods volleyball game of the week will be in Timpson tomorrow, and Beckville and Timpson tomorrow. And then Friday nights, a big one in Shelbyville at San Augustine and Shelbyville. Hook it up at Dragon Stadium.
The Reds.
Yeah, all red and black there is going on.
Yep.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
That's great. And then we will be back home.
We'll be burr hunting.
Hunt bears.
Some bear. When the Brownsboro Bears come to town, and again, Rough Riders just need to take care of business. Play them, like they're winning district right now.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Brownsboro Bears coming in. You can't take anything for granted, so you better be ready to play.
But by midnight Friday night, there will have been 3 Washington Shires Pierce games. 2 football and a volleyball, and then lots of games in East Texas throughout the NetSN network.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the Rick Meeks Show. It's live from the Pizzeria, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thanks to everybody for joining us, and a big thank you to Steve Waters at Sabine State Bank for bringing the show to you.
Thank you, Mr. Waters.
This week on NetSN, we have Tuesday night volleyball, Beckville with Larry Pierce. And Friday, we come back to the ranch to host the Bears. We'll start the Wright Chrysler Dodge Jeep pregame at 7 sharp in the center motor neutral zone. We visit with Tiki Robinson and Omar Barsanias. Sideline reporter Holly Herndon will chat with a cheerleader in the Gaddy's Cheerleader Spotlight. So until next week, for Larry, come on, Ref Pierce, Rick the AD Meeks, and the counselor, Stephen Shires, I'm Chris Watlington. See you next week from the Pizzeria. But for now, the coach has left the house.
She's watching football. There we go.
The proceeding was a presentation of Watlington, Shires, and Pierce Productions. We hope you have an awesome and blessed night. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.